We're talking Gen V season finale. We're finally here after what it seems like only just a few weeks because they dropped 3 episodes right at the
Mm.
beginning. But a lot happened. Coming in off last episode 7, obviously, we already knew this is the reveal that Godolkin was actually Cypher. Marie heals him, which I don't know if that was actually the best plan, but that happened. We also had her heal Polarity, so he's back in the game for this episode at full strength. And just for you, Scotty, we figure out that Greg can fly. So finally get to see his powers. Minor League Films here talking this finale discussion and the whole season. So go ahead and like that video, hit that sub button. Further ado, let's jump into it. So Scotty, I think both me and you, and I don't know if the audience, you have mixed feelings about the way the season ended. I don't think it's completely negative. I don't think it's completely positive, but I think it is a bit disappointing. So starting here, Godolkin, he's back. Major villain. Obviously, we find a little background information, and you brought it up. He actually took the first version of of a compound V, which means he
Yep.
can live forever. He doesn't age, and it seems like the little bit of burning or whatever he has is a little bit of part of his powers. But he's back in the game and reveals his plan. Scotty, he wants to wipe out all of the unnecessary soups, and obviously working
Yeah.
with Sage, then go after Homelander and Marie. What do you think about Godolkin and finally the reveal and him actually finally showing up, holding out his cipher for most of the season?
When he showed up, and you're the first person that had that theory, but so it was great. When he finally showed up, and the first thing he did was make a pledge, kill himself. I said, "Ooh, this is gonna be a good villain." He was using his powers effortlessly, no hand movement. It was like Professor Xavier kind of stuff. So I said, "This is
Yeah.
gonna be cool." I said that in episode 7 when they showed that one scene, not in episode 8. He
Yeah,
didn't do shit in episode 8, and that
yeah.
impressed me.
I mean, I'll say I do. I mean, we spent it. I think kind of the worry was this. I think that actor, and let me get it. What's his name? They play Hamish Linklater. He played Cipher. I think
Mm.
he did such a great job as the main villain, and I think Cipher everybody really bought into. Even then, we knew he was Godolkin probably episode 4-ish. I think kind of
Mm.
like the whole audience caught on. So why they waited to episode 7 to actually make that happen. I thought they could have made it
Mm.
happen a little faster. It would have worked out. But I enjoyed Cypher so much that I didn't care. I didn't care if he kept that body forever, just stayed at pain in the background because that actress did such a great job. But he does come back, and obviously he's working with Sage, who has showed up in the last couple episodes here, which is cool because we know, and I think some of the best execution the boys has had is when Sage had the plan with Homelander and it finally reveals, and you're like, damn, like she is really the best in the game when it comes to planning, and obviously she's the smartest person we know by her brain and the fact that it honestly grows and can't drink or anything like that. So,
Mm.
and obviously she gets shot in the head and it doesn't even matter. So I thought that was cool. I just think like and you talked about this, that initial plan that we're talking about early in the episode, the initial plan that she has to obviously can be able to control Homelander eventually, or have this plan to whatever to do to take Homelander off the board and become them at the top. We never quite get the reveal of that.
And that bugged me. I was waiting for some kind of master plan because we knew Sage's plan wasn't just to stay with Homelander and do whatever he wants to do. There's a bigger plan. She's the smartest person on earth next to the Batman type character. And I said, cool. So now maybe her master plan is with Godolkin, but not to wipe out all the soups that don't matter. That is definitely not the plan.
Yeah.
It was a plan to elevate both of them somehow, like above the 7 in some kind of way, and we never got it. Which I'm like, how will we not get this? I mean, probably because they're just going to waste the villain again. And I thought it was Sage's plan again when this plan wasn't working. I thought, Sage's mindset. I thought she thought, okay, he's going to do this. I knew he was going to do this. I have a plan for this. And she just looking like every scene. She's like, what in the fuck is he doing? What the fuck? And she even called him one point and said, the fuck are you doing? You're messing the plan up. And when she's by herself and she said that, I said, okay, he's just doing whatever he wanted to do. Like he just came out and said, you know what? I want tea. I want sex. I want to pee on my own. And I want to do some dumb shit.
Yeah.
That's as
And
human as you can get. It's funny because that's as human as you can get is making dumb mistakes. But he's so He wanted super supremacy so much, but he acted the most like a human would, doing dumb shit without thinking about it.
Yeah, I agree, and I think my problem with his plan is, I mean, even going past just how slow he tried to enact wiping out these unnecessary soups, which I don't think is the worst plan. I mean, I could see if he's the one who literally created superheroes, and then he's
There, a
like,
fly just flew in my beer.
"Oh, well, that's unfortunate." But but
No,
the
I'm
show
just saying, like, it's like I'm like,
don't
come
have
on,
beer.
man.
What do you want me to tell you? Anyway, so I think my beef with his plan is not that he wanted to wipe out the unnecessary soups, but that if you think about this on a global scale, long is it, like, even just getting away from the school, how long is this really gonna, like, is this actually a feasible plan? And anybody in your right mind would say, with all the Compound V out there, we've seen it go to multiple countries. We've seen just how many superheroes there are that they don't even know about. Honestly, some of these people at a Godolki University, if they didn't tell you they were soups, you'd probably never know. So just think about logically how many people exist out there that are soups that you really just don't know about because they don't have these overwhelming powers. Like, how long would it have took you to execute that? And even the way he started at the school, I'm like, bro, this plan will have, you're gonna have to live forever to execute this plan because it's gonna take a million years.
That it was incredibly stupid. Because that's another good point. It seemed like he was talking about wiping out all the soups, but oh, let's just start with this school. Why? Why start with the school at all? The school shouldn't mean anything to you. You don't, your statue is there, the school is made in your name, but you're supposed to have a global plan. So I think what their plan might have been would be, since to your point, like there's so many soups around the world, I think they were trying to find a way to affect or maybe even amplify his power along with Marie's power and take the Gen V, take the V out of the actual all the soups in the world that were useless and try to find a way, kind of like a Professor Xavier Cerebro. There's nothing that alluded to what I just said. I just think that would have to be the plan, because there's no way that this genius lady and this guy who's supposed to be a genius, even though he never showed it in the show, was just going to say, let's start this school. It's going to take me 5 months, and then we'll start on our plan. It'll take us 15 years per country. He no way that was his plan.
Actually would have even been a better plan
Hmm.
if they just co-op the plan from season one with this, what was it, this gas or this formula chemical that could kill all soups,
Oh yeah,
and
well,
just target it for weaker soups. Like, be like, okay, this can't take down I guess a top 10 at the school level soup, but if you're just an average or below average soup, like, you're not power enough to fight this off as a compound. So that would even been it. I mean, you got Sage, the smartest person ever, with him who created Compound V. Like, I'm pretty sure you can find a way to make that at least feasible, and that would, and I mean, it could it be unrealistic? Sure, but would I have bought it if it was them two coming up with it? I'd be like, sure, he created the drug and she's the smartest person ever. She can find people who can actually do that. I would have bought that. The season one plan was better for wiping out soups than season two.
yeah, it was much better. This is not a plan. This is just, man. This is a high person's plan. Let's just start walking down the street and slapping the shit out of soups. Maybe they'll lose their powers. This is a high man's plan. He didn't even
Yeah.
get enough. My thing is this: he didn't even get enough sleep, Darian. He just woke up and was like, "Oh man, time to do some stupid shit. Take a nap." If he took a nap, he would have probably thought this through. He
Yeah.
didn't sleep at all.
He was kind of crazy, Scotty, and I'll move on after this. I think he killed as many soups in episode 7 as he did in episode 8. Because
None.
he didn't kill nobody in that room,
No.
man. So
Listen,
maybe one or less.
we thought that they were dead because there was pools of blood on the ground. And
But
then when he made them all get up and dance, I said, "You didn't even kill them. So
yeah,
how long were you
they've
going to be
left.
in there?"
I thought they were dead. But anyway, moving on. We got more stuff going on in this episode. We'll get back. We'll get back to Godolkin because I think we have a not a really a theory. We had an idea on how to use him that went much better for going forward into the boys. But yeah. So we're back to our main crew. We had to start there. But as our main crew, I like the fact that Polarity was healthy. Now we get to see him at his full strength, being a hero. That Sean Patrick Thomas has been really good in this season. Obviously, with the death of Andre / Chance Perdomo, they want to screw up his name. I think he was a good addition to this team. Obviously, the team's back together. Marie kind of goes rogue with Kate, which I think one of the best things about this season with the introduction of polarity as well, but has been the advancement of Marie, not only in her powers, but her as a character. I think coming out of this season, that's something where I'm like, I love the progression of her character, and she's not perfect. You've seen her be bitchy, seen her at times like definitely with her and Jordan's relationship of like, and then just be like, hey, I'm gonna do this on my own and good luck. I think definitely Stan Edgar put that in her head, but I think you get to see some complex of that character, and it's like I got to do it. I don't want my friends to die, and the only really person I can trust is myself. And now I'm feed. And one of the best parts is she's feeding into what Cypher has told her, like, hey, you are a god level soup, and you're the only one outside of Homelander. So what do you need these others for? And Edgar said it too. Like, what do you need these others for? You're all powerful, and she buys into that, which is very realistic. So I think that's one of the better parts coming out of this season, just the advancement of her character.
Yeah. It's her character, Emma's character, Sam's character. They all get pretty good arcs in this show. I like Sam's character development just a little bit better,
Okay.
only because it surprised me where he was going. I didn't think he would go home and his parents would still be loving parents, and then they would be able to say, "Hey, has nothing to do with what we did to you. You have this mental illness going on." So now he has another relationship to hang on to, fight for, lean on to. Marie's character development was cool too. I'm happy she found her sister finally, because even though it's only been 2 seasons, I feel like it's been like 3 seasons or something. I feel like I've been with these characters for a long time, probably because I like them a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was cool too. Her finding her sister, them reconciling, Marie trying not to just do the solo thing and be selfish and use her whole team as the whole friendship thing. Jordan,
Yeah.
I didn't get so much. Even this episode, when she just kind of just broke up with Marie, says, "Nah, can't do it. You
I
got too
mean,
much going on."
I understood it because there's a level of trust between them, and Marie's kind of gone rogue on Jordan a couple times, even though Jordan was the
But
first one. Like, I don't want to do all that, but
but again, Darren, hold on. Again, you can break up with her. That's cool. But you break up with her, and then you get in your runaway vehicle and you join the resistance together, sleeping in the same bed, got the same stuffed animal, 2 straws and 1 drink.
okay, we didn't quite go that far.
Come
But
on.
I mean, I will say, I think most definitely with Jordan and her character, like you get to see finally some conflict in her and how she's gonna be able to deal with that going forward. So we will see that. But yeah, it was a good shot with Sam. I liked his progression. Obviously, Emma still wanted, and you talked about it. You want to see her still get her moment, but I think her progression as a character was still pretty good, and her relationship with Polarity is one of my favorite in this. Obviously, Emma seems to end the show. I don't know how much farther we're gonna go with Gen V, but have the
Yeah,
best
yeah,
relationships with people, and I think that's kind of her addition to the show.
yeah, that's our only addition. Emma's my favorite character, but I will say the team as a whole still ain't shit. It's Marie, sometimes Jordan, occasionally Sam. That is what the team is called. Marie, sometimes Jordan, occasionally Sam. Emma, hello. That's it. Because Emma, what she did this episode, I do like that she finally could control her size power. But then when she controlled her size power, she kind of just toe flicked Godolphin into the wall. Yeah, I did something. Then came back down. It's cool. Because like I said, she is the hello character. She's here. It's cool. She made a joke. Hooray. That's why I like her. But the whole team ain't shit together as a unit.
Yeah, I feel like at this point and moving before we move forward, I feel like some people were ready for the resistance, some people weren't. Like if they were gonna really go and be able to take down a Homelander or Vought or and who knows what other heroes and what other people they have out there because Vought just has I mean, it's a show. They have an unlimited amount of people they can throw at this resistance for you. Then some people you feel like, oh, they'll be able to go and contribute, Jordan, Marie, and some people you'd be like, you need to hang out at Godolphin University a little longer. You need to fight your way up to the top 10 because I don't know exactly what you're contributing when it comes to big time stakes. Like maybe they'll have some regression in the boys. I don't know if Gen V is going to get another season. It seems like they're really pushing into the boys to kind of wrap that season up. Maybe we'll go further with other characters. But yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like they're all quite ready. But moving on from there, obviously Cypher slash Godolphin's plan heads off at the school. He makes the announcement, which sends a beacon to Homelander that Godolphin is back. Unfortunately, we'll never quite see that confrontation, but we'll talk about that in a little while. But yeah, Godolkin sends the beacon out. He has the Supes come in and fight their way, which yeah, I think we talked about that earlier. Kind of made no sense. But I think his plan was if I'm able to control them and work my way up and level myself up, just like he was doing with Marie, then he should be able to control Marie later on, which it only takes about 5 minutes.
That was real. That got like if they extended the show and kind of made it so it seemed like it went days on, maybe even weeks on, even if they extended it to like half an hour longer, maybe not a whole episode, maybe they didn't want to do that. And it could have showed his power progression. Because remember, every time he uses power, his arms and his whole body will start having the burns again. So I was
Yeah.
like, okay, cool. So they're showing progression with his powers, like he's getting stronger, but like this kind of like the stronger he gets, it's messing with him. So I thought we're gonna like see this progression continue in the next boys season. I feel like this was kind of like along with the plan, uh the Gen V showrunners plan was kind of pointless. Like, why even show us that his power wanes or his body can't take his power at all if you know he's not going to really do much at all.
Yeah, and I think kind of like moving forward, it with yeah, I agree. It's like with his plan to move forward, and obviously we understanding how he can level up. Like I think we were looking for like another big piece of the boys, and it's like we got this the boys versus Vought slash the boys versus the seven, and we know that's kind of the stake. I think Godolkin, the cool part about him was he had his own plan. He wanted to wipe out the lower level Supes. He obviously him and Sage had a plan, which we don't know if we'll ever we'll ever really know it. I'm sure they'll reveal it at some point in a different way, but I would have been better if he's a part of that unless they find a way to bring him back somehow. I think it's kind of
Mm.
that's kind of dead. So I think with that plan, they added another piece on the board of like you said, if he's bubbling up or having his burns come back using his power, and we don't see him until episode 5 of the boys and his whole body is covered in this stuff, it's like, oh shit, like he probably can control Marie, probably can control Homelander, he control Soup strong enough to kill them, as we talked about early in the season when we said it revealed who's going to kill Homelander, because that was a strong possibility with knowing the stuff they put out here. Godolkin, now clearly he wasn't that strong, or he would have been in the middle wiped out by Marie and the gang, who's not a tough team compared to anybody else we've seen, as far as in the boys. But
Mm.
it seemed like it was leveling up to that and had kind of a three-way kind of battle for power, or not really power, but people trying to stop, evil corporations. And you got at least two entities out there that are evil and may be against each other or may eventually work together. So I think that part kind of ruined that. I think some of the good stuff we've also got in this episode away from that was obviously Polarity, getting a little deeper into his character. And obviously that moment he had with Black Noir was pretty cool. I think this might be the second time we've seen Black Noir in action. I think I've talked about it with you. We saw obviously him in the deep fight the boys in I think the last episode of the last season, but we really haven't seen Black Noir do much, especially this new iteration of Black Noir. Now the other one's dead, and we see him obviously kill kill former Cipher for no reason. He had no reason to do
Yep.
that, and then he
Well, that's the
kidnaps.
reason
He was there.
couldn't have a witness. Couldn't have a witness to that kidnapping.
I guess that's very true. And he kidnaps Polarity, which shows you I don't know much about this iteration of Black Noir, but I think that's one of the cool parts is we know he's probably pretty strong. I don't know where this character come from. I don't know who he was before Black Noir. I obviously he's probably different than the comics,
Mm.
but I mean, he's a pretty strong character, and I think that's a good thing going towards in the boys.
Yeah, Black Noir comic books was a clone of Homelander. This one they explained it in the last season. Whether it's truth or a lie, we don't know. I don't think they're going with a clone of Homelander at
No.
all in this show at all. Which is a good thing because the comic book was shit anyway. This guy was an actor, is what his background is in the show so far. Is he's an actor, which is why in this last season he was always asking for his motivation because he was kind of just like a stand-in role. It's a role for him, kind of. And
Yeah.
he's not even a violent person because he didn't even want to beat up the guys, but he said, okay, well, this is my role, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And that's it. He can fly. Obviously, he has some sort of durability and super strength as well. So he kind of has the powers of Homelander or Sam. Sam, not Luke, but he has powers of Sam so
No, you gotta
far.
say Sam.
So I don't think he's gonna be much of a evil adversary like he
Yeah, I
was
don't know.
before.
But the fact that he has this power, then he has some level of loyalty to the seven, I think that adds too, because the old Black Noir was like, you don't want to see him coming because we seen him jack up a lot of people as far as
Mhm.
the series has went. So I thought that was cool. But obviously, Sage just ditches the plan. Obviously, they releases polarity over to help kill. I always want to say Cipher because I really love that villain to kill Godolkin, who I like a lot less. And then obviously, one I thought going to this final battle. One, I gotta say, like the butt chug thing, and we talked about it before we recorded. They finally I've suffered all through the season with that. I'm like, why does this keep coming back? They finally have a good reason to use that, and it was creative, and it was I want to say cool, but it was reasonable. And I was like, okay, like that's a good touch on making something actually that you played along with for a long time, like worth it. Because obviously the reveal of getting them in there made sense. What did not make sense was we know Godolkin can control people and they go in there and pack the house. It should have just been Marie and Polarity like they originally planned. It's like we had this whole fight in front of the building, and then they go to do the same thing. It's like, oh, I'm gonna, injure all y'all and leave you here, go do this. And then you show up anyway. And it's like that defeated the purpose of the plan.
Yeah, it's kind of when she walked in there with her leather jacket on, I was like, why'd you just walk up in there like that? You could just maybe the plan could have been a little bit more stealthy, yank his blood out from a distance or something. Or maybe, like you said, just her and Polarity, that's it. Since those are the two people that he couldn't control, even though he learned how to control Marie in about 17 minutes.
Yeah.
But the guy walked in there and everybody came out of his butt at the same time, like, yeah, bitch, we're here. Now control us. See what
Yeah. It's like
happens. Like,
that's cool, but like I didn't mind Marie walking in there because I thought it set up a cool scene. I mean, obviously she's high on confidence. Her to fight the other soups that he's now controlling would have been cool, and then getting advantage of him. The others jumping in there, I wouldn't have minded if they got in and got out. The problem is they all stayed there and was like, oh, we want to be the Avengers now. And it's like, well, there's really only one Avenger here, and they control the rest of y'all. So it's a failed plan, which obviously worked out like that. But yeah, moving on to there, like him able to control Marie so fast. Because I honestly thought your theory was going to be right. I thought Marie, when they first did the, whatever the blood thing, like she was going to be able to take the V out of his blood without killing him. Because I don't think Marie just
yeah,
wants to kill people. So I thought that was, I was like, oh shit, he was right. And then he takes over Marie, and I was like, oh shit, unfortunately, you were wrong.
yeah, yeah.
For
And
the show's sake, unfortunately, you were wrong.
yeah, and I didn't like how I mean, the fight was cool. Like when Marie was going through PB, so you see, she has a little bit of enhanced strength as well. She's punching people in the walls and stuff like that. I said, cool. And then even when he took her over, cool. She's able to lift everybody up. She's that strong. She can do that. But man, after that scene, I said, wow, we we just got rid of the cool villain that I thought was going to last for the whole at least half the season of the boys next scene, so we can have like a contention for another good villain. Because I mean, I like the dude. I like this face. I thought he had a nice villainous smirk on his face at all
Yeah.
times. He had a villainous, unruly hair, and he had a little bit of muscle to him, and had a voice that I thought was powerful enough to command a room. And then I thought they were going to hold him hostage, put him somewhere, do something like a Soldier Boy thing, put him in a box, and he would escape. Nah, just
Yeah,
just
and I
get rid.
think that's part of the worst part about this show is the fact that you could have done so many things. If she was able to take the V out his blood, that's really cool going forward because it's really established her as the most powerful person. And even if she had did that, he created V. He can go
Mhm.
back and live and create another one and be like, yo, I can make an even better one, have his powers maybe without bubbling up, and it's still that threat, and shows up at episode 2 of the boys, like, oh, I got my powers back and I'm even better at it now. And also, too, you talked about the burning coming back to his skin. If he had escaped and got away with this plan, and you see him just show up in the boys, and like I told you earlier, his whole body's marked up. It's another threat because he's super powerful. It's just so many things they could have done with that. I mean, one, having all these students go fight in the hall when you're playing as wipeout soups should have been more like season 1, where they're just in this open alley. He takes over 10 and just starts mowing people down. I mean, we've slaughtered people throughout this franchise, and we get to the final episode of one of the franchise's series, and no one gets slaughtered. I think besides the main villain, I think that's cheap. But I'll say I think that would just been a better plan. I think that's why it's a little bit of a flop at the end here. I think we kind of talked over. You got anything else to add to this episode? Or are you ready to give ratings?
Yeah, I'm good. It's just that also when he was burning, I wouldn't even call this a nitpick. I'd love to call it a nitpick, but I'm like, when when he just had a couple of burns, I said, okay, cool. But at the end, when you could see the burns here on his chest and all over his arms, he didn't even act like that bothered him. Because I thought he would at least make a remark like, damn, I need to perfect, like you said, I need to perfect this V. I need to perfect what's going on. It's perfect, something like that. Because he's a scientist too. He just said, nah, it's fine. Everybody's like, hey, you're burning. It's like, you're fucked up. Nah, skin condition is fine. I'm like, he didn't even notice. I'm like, so how much power was this guy going to use even if they kept him around before he said, man, it's hurting a little bit. I wonder what's wrong. Something. Yeah.
I mean, it's the point of like he hated that old body that he had because it was so scarred up. And I mean, again, he wasn't mobile. He wasn't able to actually function in that body. But what's the point of having a functioning body if you look back like you did before, even if you can roll around and do stuff? So I think it would have been an opportunity for him to say, like, that first generative V, I don't age, I don't, stuff like that, but I can make it better. That adds another thing in the boys. When you're talking about there's a new V out there that's even better than the old one, where everyone could be a Homelander, everyone could be a Marie because he's now affected it, and people are trying to get control of it because we know every season somebody's after some kind of drug. And you add Edgar back in that, and all these people chasing after this thing is just another like we just wrote another 2 seasons of the boys, and they just crushed it all in one episode. But yeah, I think you got another excellent point there. Yeah, I mean, as far as the series, I'll ask you first, what would you rate it, and what are you looking forward to going forward? As obviously Starlight comes back, A Train comes back, and now we have the Resistance with the Gen V people added.
I'd rate it a price of admission. I was riding kind of high, and this entire finale, like from start to finish, really this whole episode, I was kind of like at a down, like wow. I was kind of watching it for it to end because I figured I knew how it was going to end after a while anyway.
Yeah.
Looking forward, I'm looking for death, if I'm being honest with you, because this team ain't shit. Give me an emotional death of Jordan or Marie. Honestly, you can kill it. Not saying I don't like them, but you can kill any one of those people or kill the heart of the team, which is Emma, the woman who probably won't be able to do anything for a while. Emma or Sam. Get rid of somebody or both. Get rid of Emma and Sam, and then have trim down the team a little bit. Trim it down, because all these characters can't do something big in this probably final season of the boys. They didn't say it's a final season, but I would like to think this is a final season. There's not much else they can do.
Yeah, I mean, I would think the only reason I'd say this team probably remains untouched is because I think they'll probably, after we get done with Butcher, Huey, and Homelander in that storyline, you can definitely go on. Like you said, if you're making money, if you're doing it well, people like these characters. I mean, I like these characters way more than the ones in the boys, and I like to see them succeed or go on. You can definitely do stuff with them after, whether it's a spinoff or another show or the boys with Marie leading and the other people retired or not out the picture. So I think you'll probably see those deaths before you see the characters in Gen V death. But I mean, if you did see 1 or 2 in the boys, I think it would add to it because it's definitely a show. I mean, I think I'm with you. I think it's a price of admission. I was riding really high on this season going through episode probably 3, 4, 5, and 6. I think 7 was okay, a little slow, but I mean, obviously, I thought Marie made a stupid decision at the end, but it was awfully leading into this and bringing Godolkin back, which I would not have been mad at if we got a good villain, which I felt like we had the framework of, and they ruined it. So if they don't bring him back, I think that's kind of wasted this season. But I'd say it's a price admission. I think it's definitely worth watching. I think it's fun. I think you're getting to see now all the characters that you like from the boys and Gen V now combined, and like, let's go chase and take down Homelander, which we've been waiting for 4 seasons now. So I guess 6 if you count the boys. So I definitely say it's a price of admission this episode.
Yeah,
run of the millish at best, millish at best. But I think it's been silly, a lot of mistakes we talked about. But let us know what you thought. Hit those comments. But for us, it's probably run of the mill for the episode, price admission for the season. Scotty, got anything else?
That's all I got. I'm looking forward to the next boys season. I believe it comes out next fall. They haven't announced it yet, but I know that they probably showed it at some con. I think it is next fall.
Okay. All right. Well, if people want to find us, where can they do that at?
Here, right here.
No, thank you for Kuronocomics on TikTok, of course. got stuff coming up there. Obviously, we got some videos dropping with horror. Been a little slow this month, but they are coming. They have been recorded and they are scheduled. So be like, look out for that. Got videos dropping, trying to get them done daily. So those will be dropping, and we'll finish up the month strong. A lot of horror to talk about. We got OGs and remakes, some surprising takes in that video. So that will be dropping pretty soon here. Black Phone 2. I see obviously Texas Chainsaw, like a bunch of Halloween movies. Scream. I think I just watched Scream theaters as well. I didn't even tell you, but saw it again as a classic, my favorite horror movie probably ever. So do that, like that video, hit those comments, hit that sub button. We are chasing that 1,000 sub mark. So hit that sub button and tell somebody if you like the show, recommend them over here, and we'll talk with them as well. So all that good stuff. Hope you enjoyed the season. We'll be back for the boys whenever that comes back. Back for some horror movies and some releases, but all that good stuff. We'll catch you next time.